What's up, Chad? It's 10:43, time for girl dinner, aka a large pickle and 0 sugar ginger ale. Is that girl dinner? Been hearing about girl dinner in general recently, and my understanding is it's any combination of any foods available in an average pantry or refrigerator. Have you heard about girl math? No, I heard about girl dinner. Is that related somehow? Girl math is hilarious. Let me see what this is. What is girl math? The TikTok trend where young women justify their spending isn't a lifestyle or a delusion. It's proof that Gen Z is starting to believe money isn't real. What? If it's less than $5, it's basically free. If you return the item for a refund, you've made money. If you paid for a vacation months ago, it's free by the time you go on it. That's the bizarre logic of girl math, the latest TikTok trend in which women rationalize their spending in a logical way. Guys do this too, though. You know what guys do this the most? When guys do this is what I'll call gambling math. Every guy I know, when they go to Vegas, there's a complex series of math to prove that they're always up. They'll never say they're down, dude. They'll always talk about how, like, all right, well, I planned to spend $200 a day, so that was my normal thing. That's not really down. That's for entertainment. I also got free drinks at the table, or it's net. They'll always say they're even. But it's never a wash, dude. Vegas was not built by guys all going even or ending up. They all are down. Vegas is held up by quitters. Yeah, true. You can always make it back. Always double up. Anyway, I just want to mention that. I think guy math I've seen be about gambling in so many ways.
There's a list of things that I firmly believe because of girl math. Anything under $5 is free. Anything I buy with a gift card is free. If I buy something but then I return it, I've made money. Going to an event or a concert is free because I purchased the tickets so long ago, it doesn't even count. If I'm paying someone back for dinner and I have money in Venmo, that dinner is free. This one's a little bit weird, but my husband and I share credit cards and a bank account, but somehow every time that he puts down his card with his name on it, that's free.
I do. The one of those I do is the Venmo one. If I ever, I use it for bets. Again, it's mostly for gambling when it comes to me. If I ever am betting somebody, I just played poker recently and I lost money. But because I had the amount of money I lost in my Venmo, it wasn't really a loss. The Venmo one is very solid. Tell me more, Forbes or Fortune. It was popularized in July by a trio of New Zealand radio hosts on ZM's Fletch, Vaughn, and Haley. The group reasoned the purchase was basically free. Logic goes like this. Can I just watch it?
Girl Math is back. We welcome Sarah to Girl Math. Good morning.
Good morning.
Now, you would like Girl Math to justify quite a big purchase for you.
What did you buy?
I managed to get tickets to Taylor Swift the Sydney shows.
Wow, well done.
So do you mind telling us how much this cost you?
No judgment.
No judgment.
Did you want for the one night or did you want for all the nights?
I'm
What
sorry.
do you mean
I'm
all
sorry.
the nights?
I'm
How many
sorry.
nights are
I'm
you
sorry.
going to Taylor Swift?
I'm going to all 4.
Are the shows same every night? Like you're seeing the same show 4 times in a row? Oh, okay, it's a surprise song. I see.
How much do you need us to justify for you here?
No judgment, Sarah.
Okay.
Accommodation, flights, and the 4 tickets
Flights.
would be a total of $5,600.
Now listen, flights, you would have had to pay that much.
I'll be honest with you, though. I mean, that is a high amount. That's no small chunk of change. From my understanding, these tickets, those are probably not the good tickets because my understanding, these tickets are absurd. I wouldn't say it's cheap. You're spending over $1,000 a day, well over $1,000 a day. But overall, all in.
For flights for one night or 4 nights. So that's free. And then
Good point. Because she's going to 4 shows, but she's not buying 8 flights.
Yeah.
She's buying 2 flights.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's $2,500, but she's not. So $2,500. She's actually she's saved $1,800.
It's a great saving.
So what are we going? We're going $5,000 minus $1,800 because she doesn't have to buy 8 flights. Now we're only justifying $3,200.
Okay,
The
easy.
maths have begun.
All right, good start. I like that. That's saving. No, she's saving money. I like this.
Easy.
So if you want to get, let's say, down to another 1,000 off, she needs to rewatch her videos of the concerts 1,000 times.
So the concert's 3 hours.
Yeah, so I reckon if she watches those videos 1,000 times, that takes the price off because you're getting a free concert.
You're getting a
And there is, honestly, I think whether or not she rewatches it, just the demand is there. You know what I'm saying? There is so much demand online for concert footage from the cheap seats. Like just people with their phone in the way back of the concert, uploading that is money. That you put that on YouTube, you're going to make tens, 20s, $1,000.
So you're telling me she's getting about 1,500 free concerts? We're in the positives already. I mean, I don't know how we've done that.
Exactly.
3,000, but just for logistical sakes, I'll take away 1,000. Now we're at 2,000. Their alternative was to fly to where's one of our friends going?
Melbourne.
No.
Oh, no, to like
Paris and Vienna.
Someone's going to Vienna.
Next minute, you're buying flights, accommodation, and tickets to Vienna. Are you telling me that's going to cost any less than $3,000? You're kidding yourself. Yeah. I can't believe we've even bothered justifying this, to be honest. It justified itself.
Priceless.
So what have we got it down to?
0.
It's basically free.
All right. Well, that tracked. Let's see if I can learn any more here. The phrase money isn't real appears in many adjacent social media videos, and it's no coincidence. Gen Zers and young millennials have grown up watching the Federal Reserve effectively print trillions of dollars as the U.S. continues to sink deeper into debt. Yeah, I guess if you were born, especially after 2000, basically all you've seen is 0% interest rates and government printing popping up every bubble. Well, you guys are sagging. You haven't even got to the bad part yet. You guys are sagging way too early. You have to sag after that comes due. You have to sag when the... So far, you've had the good times. You've had the good part. Okay, continuing. At what point the dollar was backed by something? It was backed by physical, tangible gold that existed, and now it's backed by hopes and dreams. One tick there. Okay, that was a very long time ago, but yes.
What's so baffling to me about this financial crisis is that, like, money isn't real. Right now, we could be using, like, bracelets as currency. But no, somebody decided it was going to be, like, $1.
Okay. They did use bracelets and coins and shells and all. I mean, money is picked because it's very easy. It's easy to print and transfer. That's what, I mean, it was chosen for, the actual specific thing was chosen for a reason.
And at one point, the dollar was actually backed by something. It was backed by physical, tangible gold that existed.
That's true.
And now it's backed by hopes and dreams. The full faith in the U.S. government that nobody fucking has. We don't have full faith in the U.S. government. Other countries don't even have full faith in the U.S. government because we literally don't have any fucking money. We're $32 trillion in debt, and I don't even understand how that's possible because... What?
It is a fair point. No one has a real answer to how we're going to pay it.
And the price of things keep going up, but they only actually go up because somebody decides that they go up. Like somebody has decided the price of these things, and they said, "Oh, well, fuck these people. We don't care if they can pay for this."
No,
this
it's
is the
based
price
on
of
demand,
including groceries and like goods that we need. If they would have made different decisions, we wouldn't be in this fucking mess right now.
That's true.
These are not real fucking things. We could literally trade bracelets and not be currency.
Well, okay. I do agree with her spiritual point that, you know, we're all born into this system that we didn't decide. And there is a massive amount of debt that seems to have no solution to getting paid. And that does not mean we can go back to bracelets. And the dollar was backed by gold until the 70s. I think Nixon took us off that gold standard. And it has caused a steady drumbeat of inflation ever since. We had like pretty relatively low inflation until then. It's a great website. You know, a lot of things changed when the dollar started to become free floating, not backed by anything, and they could just print more. But a lot of it has to do with the fact that when the dollar is no longer redeemable for gold, governments can much more easily run deficits. And that's what happened. But, you know, one interesting theory that I've seen, when you think about what a dollar or any currency is, it's really kind of a claim on energy. What you're doing is using the dollar or receiving a dollar as a way of buying energy from something else, whether it's a person going to the field and making something, a tractor plowing something. And when you look at it through that lens, it becomes clear that prices for things haven't actually changed too much at all. Just the dollar's been overprinted. For example, a house in 1971 cost, let's say, 400 barrels of oil. 30 years later, or 50, 60 years later, a house costs $1 million more. The dollar value has gone way up, but it costs exactly still 400 barrels of oil. Do you think all this girl spending shit is a coping mechanism for how shit in the world is right now and expensive everything is? Probably. It could also just be like a general, you know, I mean, people just want to buy things for themselves, and it's just a fun thing. It's probably, you could find something similar to this in any era, I assume. Let's read more. The concept felt unsatisfactory in 1975, too, when economist John Kenneth Galbraith wrote this book, Money, Whence It Came, Where It Went. The process by which banks create money is so simple that the mind is repelled. Compound that with these generations' distrust of large institutions, and voila, trends like girl math are born. Their cynical, apathetic attitudes towards finance are unsurprising, given that they lived through financial crises and a pandemic. I don't know if girl math has too much to do with that. I think it's interesting, but I've also read so many stories like this where it's like teens are eating Tide Pods, and it's unsurprising because they've lived through a pandemic and the shadow of climate anxiety. They don't care anymore. And it could also just be like, you know, like it's just a dumb thing kids are doing, and they've also separately lived through these things. I do think, wait, actually, there is something to this. I do think in general, from what I've understood, Gen Z is saving less than prior generations at their age, and they are more likely to say fuck it to the concept of like thinking about long-term future. It is a kind of a fuck it, we ball mentality. And this is Gen Z, not just Gen Z women. This is Gen Z in general. But I do think girl math is kind of a fun spin on that. So I do think there is something here. What's Drop Spindle saying? It's really interesting how men are allowed to make jokes, but whenever women do the same, people write crazy think pieces about how the world is ending about it. Yeah, I agree. I do think, what I'm trying to do is expand this to everyone in the generation. I think if you just use it as like a women be shopping, oh, women be shopping, then I think you kind of missed the point. But I do think there is something here about how the generation in general feels kind of like, I don't know, let down by institutions, for whatever reason, is not thinking about the future in a long-term way. And it's playing out in different ways. You know, we're reading this article, but there should be a similar article about the number of Gen Z men who are downloading DraftKings as like their fucking financial plan. There's girl math for Taylor Swift tickets, and then there's Gen Z dudes who are like fucking, this is how they're gonna make money, dude, is fucking DraftKings. So there's both sides, all right? This is happening. I believe a growing perspective is the game is rigged, so why bother trying to play? Yeah, I think that's fair. I do think, you know, we've seen with 20, 30 years of like zero interest rates, easy debt, people with money using that to get more money, take out debt, buy everything. We've seen the game, you know, the collective game of everything. It's like Monopoly at the end of the game versus at the beginning. You know, at the beginning, it's like a wide open board. Opportunities abound. There's a lot of things you could do. But at the end of it, like one person kind of owns everything. They have like all of the properties, and there's not much you can do. You just kind of go around the board. There's no way you can really win. And so it does feel like we're at that people call it late stage capitalism, but it's like, it's later stages where some winners have been determined. And it's hard to unseat them. Global Squid Game fixes all. That's a good idea. What if we make a global Squid Game? Anyway, you know, that's the theory that I'm taking from that.